In the previous video, we looked at creating our first bone, which was our master control bone, after setting up the scene to have the master control bone located at the center of the world origin. In this video, we're going to change the look of the master control bone exclusively by adapting its viewport display settings. To do this, what we need to do is we need to create a custom shape. So I'm going to create a custom shape, and I'm actually going to make sure that the custom shape is created at the same location as the world origin. So any custom shapes that you do here should start from the center of the world origin, just to minimize any potential errors later on. Before I do that, I'm going to create a new collection for my custom shapes. So come over to the outliner panel, right click, and then select new collection from the outliner context menu. Double left click and name this as bone shapes. Next, we're going to hit Shift and A to add a new shape. For the master control bone, I'm simply going to use a cube object. Let's reduce the size of the cube in the operator panel. It might appear as this when you first create the cube, so just open up the operator panel and reduce the size. I'm going to reduce it to a 0.1 value. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scale this on the Z plane. So to scale the cube on the Z plane, hit the S key to scale, which initially will scale on all three axes, and then hit Shift and Z to lock it to the Z plane, which is both the X and Y axes. We're then going to position it about here, hit Control and A, and apply all transforms. Now this shape is not going to be the bone itself. You can see that they are still two different objects. What we want is we want to tell Blender that this bone is going to use this shape. So to do that, select the bone, which is currently the whole armature in object mode. And then we're going to go up to object mode here, open up this menu, and we're going to select pose mode. Not edit mode, we're going to select pose mode. Then we're going to left click on our bone. If you zoom in, you can see that the bone has a blue highlight whenever we are in pose mode. If you haven't seen pose mode before, it's exclusive to armatures and is used for creating different positions for your characters. So what we're going to do with our selected bone is we're going to go to our bone properties, then scroll down until we come up to viewport display. Now underneath viewport display, which you may have to open up, you will have this custom shape option and then the chance to choose your custom object. Left click and then select your cube. As soon as you do that, you will see that the shape of the bone has changed to match the shape of our cube. There are a couple of things though that we need to change. First of all, the rotation is incorrect, at least for what we want, and also the scaling. Now I'm going to uncheck this box to stop it scaling to the length of the bone itself. Then I'm going to left click on the option below to enable wireframe. So as a personal preference, I prefer to use wireframes for my custom shapes so that I can see through those bones more clearly. Now we have this minor issue where our master control bone isn't rotated correctly. One method of solving this is to go back into object mode, select the original shape, go into edit mode, and then rotate on the appropriate axis. So if we rotate this on the x-axis, you can see that as we rotate the object, the shape used by the bone is rotating as well. So I'm going to use a value of 90 degrees and then press enter. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into object mode and I'm going to hide this cube. So left click on the eye icon in the outliner panel to hide the cube. This won't do anything to the shape of the master control bone. Now if you go into pose mode for your master control bone, you can see that it has the correct shape. Now this isn't the only bone on our rig that is going to have a different shape, but we will go on to those when we come to them. In the next part of this class, we're going to begin creating the spine of our rig, going from the lower back up to the head.